All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of FloWrestling Radio live from the BOK Center. Ohio State, your winners of the first ever National Duals Invitational in spectacular fashion. And we're going to be recapping everything. They're on the stage right now getting their $200,000 check. An unbelievable performance by Coach Ryan's Buckeyes. JD, do we want to start with the championship finals? There's a lot we have to get
much to get into. We got to start with the championship finals. We got to start with these Buckeyes, dude. What the heck?
They were absolutely out of control, start to finish, and really those lightweights shot out of a cannon every single match. And it felt like match one, we predicted that they would use Buzakis in this position. They used him. He comes out. Peterson in on the leg. And this is just just He-Man strength stuff. He just kind of picks him up, lifts in the crotch, locks up a near side cradle, gets the three.
Dude, well, first of all, he did double crotch lock bomb.
Yes. It was like freestyle.
He rolled through it the first time, and then he picked him up and almost pile drive him.
Yes. It was just unbelievable strength. And then he gets the cradle, takes his time with it, rolls through, takes a little bit, but he gets the fall, and right away you knew Iowa was in big, big trouble here, going down 6-0 in the match where, on paper, where they don't wrestle the matches, you think Dean might have a slight edge here. But what we're learning about Nick Buzakis is this. This is a guy that can contend not just for, podium. He can maybe climb up there on the podium. Good job, ref.
Absolutely. You know what you say, the lightweights set the tone for Ohio State. I think the tone was set earlier by Tom Ryan.
Yeah.
You listened to his interview he did in the press conference, and he said, this is important. We are trying to win. I don't care if you're a little dinged up. You're going out there because we want to win. And you could tell, really just, especially like you said, at the lightweights in this final duel,
yes.
It felt like Ohio State had the pop, the energy, the enthusiasm, and it just wasn't quite matched by Iowa.
It wasn't matched there, and really wasn't matched at 133. And this guy, Ben DeVino, we got to talk about this young man. The freshman for Ohio State beats Drake Ayala 10-4. Drake never close to anything offensive.
No.
Every time Ben shot, he scored. Ultra efficient performance, 4-0 on the week. Tech fall over Wyoming. Tech fall over Chris Cannon, a two-time AA. A major over Omar Ayub, and then 10-4 over Drake Ayala. We knew Ben. Been talking about Ben. Where he fits was a question. It feels like he's now ascending to that upper echelon of 133 pounds and then some. I mean, you beat Drake Ayala. It's a short list of guys that have done that in the last couple of years.
Absolutely. And I'm already looking ahead, right? No Illinois on the schedule for Ohio State. But February 13th, Valentine's Eve, Penn State. Marcus Blaze, Ben DeVino. Don't forget, Ben DeVino has a win over Marcus Blaze at Ironman a couple years ago.
Not just a win. Marcus Blaze's last folk-style loss is to Ben DeVino.
That is correct.
Highly notable. That's a match, guys. And Marcus Blaze is legit. We'll talk about him plenty in the weeks to come. But right now, it's about Ben DeVino. Outstanding performance. And then just like that, it's 9-0 Buckeyes going into 141. And Jesse Mendez isn't going to stop that train. I mean, manhandled Nasir Bailey.
Okay. Jesse Mendez should be locked up because that was assault.
That was crazy. I mean, moved Nasir Bailey all over the mat the entire time. Nasir got hit for stalling, I think, 4 times. 1, 2, maybe 5. They ended up giving a 2-point stall at one point. It was to the point where my psychotic son, rooting for Iowa, was rooting for.
Oh, I forgot to check in on Caleb.
Yeah, he was down. And then he started to get really punchy at the end. But he was like, get taken down because you're about to get DQ'd for 6.
Yes.
But ultimately it was a tech fall off the takedown for Jesse Mendez. And he just looks absolutely fantastic.
Match with Brock was close.
It was close.
But he
so
won.
much familiarity there.
Yes.
It was a late takedown, but felt like he was never in danger. Jesse Mendez, and he told me at the All-Star Classic they're a bunch of dogs. All right, Jesse, 100% correct. You guys are a bunch of dogs. So 141. And then 149, man, I got to say, Ryder Block should be the starter for Iowa. He looks like the best guy in that room. He gave Ethan Styles a real match. Rode him out 2 minutes straight. And if he'd have got an escape there at the end, now Styles got a takedown at the end, found a way to win. Some interesting scrambles there. Ryder was close on some scores, but ultimately it was Styles getting the win. A narrow win, but a win all the same. 3-2 over Ryder.
And Ryder couldn't escape with those last, what was it, 20, 25?
It was like, yeah, it was like
something like that.
Exactly.
Seconds. Couldn't get away. You know, if you're Iowa, you hate to see that because you got to have that. You got to have that. He went for that roll at the end, but it's like, I don't know, there's 10 seconds left. Maybe a little bit more standard, something that's not going to cause a scramble and prolong that. But you mentioned Ryder Block. He's probably the guy for Iowa. He beat Casey Swiderski.
He beat Casey Swiderski, and he beat Josh Edmond.
Yes.
So 2 really good wins for Ryder Block, and he's in a fight with the guy that got 6 last year at this weight class. And, you know, the day belongs to Ohio State, but we're going to give, you know, some measurement for Iowa fans who are feeling like, man, we got our teeth kicked in. Well, it was 6-4 in matches, okay? And you didn't have your heavyweight that's 3-0 against their heavyweight. It's not all doom and gloom here.
Also, you wrestle 125 again. I'm not saying I'm not picking Buzakis, but I'm probably not picking a pin.
I'm not picking a pin, but
right?
Although this guy gets pinned.
He gets pinned.
Buzakis is really good. He's really good, and that power. And also another thing you got to remember, this dude weighed in at 8 a.m. He's taking the mat at, what was it, 6:30, 6:35. He's feeling full and ready to rock. But, you know, people are saying, can Buzakis keep it up? We saw Buzakis a couple times off the scale looking good, right? At the Clarion. Had Anthony Knox pretty early on look good. He's able to wrestle through 7 minutes. He's not fading. I think that the cut is, you know, helped him stay super locked in. I think he looks good. I mean, you feel, and I don't feel for it because you don't know what the decision is, but Brendan McCrone did a good job this weekend too. He did not lose this weekend, and it's gonna be tough sussing it out. But the guy that beat Jory Volk, Nick Buzakis, and Dean Peterson, he's gonna be getting nods.
There's some chatter going on.
Yeah.
In our chat, you know, kind of about Iowa's performance. Do not forget this team. This team just beat Oklahoma State this morning.
Yes. Yeah. Oklahoma State
with this lineup, right? Without Ben Keeter in their lineup, you know, without Jordan Williams wrestling at 157 pounds.
Yeah.
So, like, Ohio,
Relax.
This is Ohio State. Like, they just freaking came to wrestle.
They really did. And 57, no Jordan Williams. Don't know what the story is there. He got beat soundly by Cannon Webster last night. They didn't use him against Rabadou, which I understood. And they didn't use him here against Brandon Cannon, where I thought that matchup was a little better. They elected to go with Voinovich. I don't know if this is a lineup thing or Jordan's injured, dinged up, coaches, whatever.
Mentally,
yeah,
a guy gets beat bad to Cannon. You want to toss him out there in a big duel against his former team.
True.
If he loses there, it starts to roll a little bit. And then a tough guy in Brandon Cannon, who I think has improved a lot from last year. He looked really good. I picked Inchell Taylor as my first confidence pick over Ohio. I had a rough go of it this week.
You know, I hate to.
I might have to retire from the show.
No. Let's see. I'm gonna run it up like Jesse Mendez. All right, let's find Brandon Cannon's weekend here. Tech Fall, major over Charlie Millard, who's a dog. Major over national champion Antrell Taylor, and major over Victor Voinovich. Brandon Cannon, absolutely outstanding performance. You can't say enough. And the word out of that room in the offseason was Cannon's jumping levels, guys. Be ready for this guy to be a difference maker next year. And so far, accurate prediction.
It's like Samson grows the hair out, you know.
His hair's crazy. This guy's a maniac. I told this story on the live. Ooh, that's a good one right there. Boom. This dude, I'm just there chatting up with the. I'm going to talk about Indine. Don't worry, guys. The Indine talk is coming. I've been thinking about this. We're working our way through it, and we're gonna. The culmination is my the revelation that was Masoma Indine. Don't worry about that. But they said this dude Cannon. They're like, this dude doesn't take his shoes off. He wears his shoes, he puts on his wrestling shoes and his outfit all day. He doesn't change. He goes back to the hotel, lays on the bed with the shoes on, comes back, just doesn't take the shoes off.
I was in the back after he won, And Jaggers goes up and says, "You're never taking those shoes off."
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I told you. Yeah, I don't know, but it works. Keep the shoes on. Good job. 65 man. You know what? Caliendo did not have his best weekend, but he found a way to get his hand raised more often than not. Beats a tough Paddy Gallagher. Gallagher's in there. He's in the fight, but neither guy really got to legs much. It was a overtime sudden victory takedown for Caliendo,
Yes.
I believe, to knock off Paddy Gallagher. You know, responding off that loss to D Lockett, 74. We knew this was going to be a tight one, and it's Patrick Kennedy getting his first win over Carson Hartzler. Really, Kennedy didn't fire many attacks. I think it was I don't know if I think it might have been a re-attack for Kennedy. My memory's a little foggy on that one. Hartzler kept getting the legs, but was never close to scoring. Like the hips were too heavy there.
You know, I really, really like Patrick Kennedy, both as a wrestler and as a kid.
Good
Interviewed him after his match, his win. And yeah, he is just a good dude, a guy you feel good for about winning it. And he
No doubt.
jumped a level last year. He's continuing it this year, like you said. Lost to Hartshaw last year, gets the win this year, but definitely one that could flip when these two teams duel again in February.
No question about it. Now, this 184 match was very interesting to me. Dylan Fishback wrestling pretty well. He went 2-2 on the weekend, but he went to overtime with Max McAnally and Angelo Ferrari. And now, close, got it, horseshoes, hand grenades, but I feel like Fishback's ascending a little bit.
He frustrated him.
He frustrated Angelo. He's slippery. I think my broadcast partner, Hardell Moore, I think that's how he described him. And he was. Even that takedown, when Angelo was finishing backside double, he found a way to just squirm that left leg and square up and got that takedown wipe, which got him into overtime. He had one really nice shot. He went right, left, misdirect. Beautiful single leg. Angelo is uncanny with his rolls because normally you see these guys, they come up to their feet and then they're not hiding their ankles. There's barely an inch. He's not coming up at all. And he finds a way, dives under there, gets the pass. It's one of those matches with Angelo where you're like, yeah, it'll be close. Yeah, it'll look like, oh, there's a chance he could lose. And at the end of the day, you kind of know Angelo Ferrari's going to get his hand raised. He's one of those kind of guys. And I know it's like, what is he, 15 matches in his career? I don't care. I think that's who Angelo is going to be. Not saying he's going undefeated. He's someone that's just going to know how to win those kinds of matches. And to beat him, you got to kill him.
Well, it's the same way with Sinclair.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Sinclair beat McAnally. Angelo Ferrari's going to be the number one 184 pounder in America come Tuesday morning. He really is right now.
Yes. But so talking about 184.
Yeah.
At this event. Sorry, my mind's jumping around it, and it's yes, but my stock for Angelo didn't go up just because it was already hot.
Right. I agree with that.
I predicted Angelo to beat Sinclair. My stock for Sinclair went up quite a bit.
Absolutely.
After this event, pushing Angelo like that, you walk away going, yes, that there's a path to victory for him, and I think he might be able to do it by riding Max McAnally like he did.
Yes.
Right? I was super impressed with his McAnally match and the tenacity on top. And, Zach Ryder, not the best weekend.
There's a reshuffling at 84.
So, yep, rankings now, thinking about it, it'll be Angelo, Sinclair, Max. I don't know who will be fourth off the top of my head. I've got to look at it because obviously Ryder beat Jackson Smith, but then took some losses here. But
yeah, tough to say. But yeah, good job by Angelo Ferrari doing what he does. Very dependable for the Hawkeyes. And then, yes, it is Masoma and Dean time. Give me the floor here. The Hawks have a 97-pounder. I was skeptical. I saw the freestyle, but doing it at this level in folk style, didn't know where he was at on the mat. Just a different kind of level. This guy is not just on the level. He is a bona fide All-American contender. And for me, it's not just the ability I knew was, I thought was probably there. But the ability to compete in these matches is really what impresses me. And I think that's where you see a lot of guys with ability, but it takes a little time to figure out how to win these kind of matches. This guy was dominating everyone at Division 3. He wasn't having, at the end there, he was not having close matches. So now what do you do when you're in a fight? Well, this guy was in some wars and he found a way to, he steps in. This guy was wrestling Division 3, which is just different. And now he steps into college wrestling's greatest and oldest rivalry with the duel on the line against a blue chipper in Cody Merrill. And he goes and he gives up a penalty point, and he still finds a way to go and get the takedown and beat Cody Merrill, which is they lose that. The Cowboys are wrestling the Buckeyes, and we're talking about the Cowboys wrestling Ohio State. That was an absolute statement weekend. It wasn't a one-off. He beat Evan Bates, who's the top 15 guy. He beat Cade Lout, top 20 guy. He beat Cody Merrill, who was ranked like 9th. And then he beat Seth Shoemate, NCAA qualifier. Might be ranked right now. We have Geog in, but if it were Shoemate, he'd be ranked. 4 guys, 4 very different wrestlers, passing every single test. And it feels like the confidence is only going to start to grow for Indeed. Now, is the sky the limit? We'll see. 197. There's a big boss there with Josh Barr, right? But where does Indeed fit? We're going to learn a lot. And I'll tell you what, I'm excited to watch him. Love what he brings to the table. And, yeah, I know I'm not on an island here as a Indeed skeptic. And I think we're all, pleased to see what he could do.
And even after his first match against Billerman, right? What was it, 3-1?
3-0.
3-0.
Yeah, 3-0.
Right? Lackluster, not much there. But like you said, I can't add anymore because he's the real deal.
Yeah, congratulations to him. So a lot of bright spots for Iowa. Keeter being hurt is not a bright spot, and I hope it's not long term. The indication I get is that it's not, but you never know with this information. So forfeit at heavyweight, and ultimately the Buckeyes win by a final of 27-12. But still 6-4 in matches, which is interesting. But all decisions for the Hawks.
Yeah, you say 6-4, and
it felt like not 6-4,
right? And it was because it was taken away. The outcome was known within the first kind of one match, but honestly, really two or three was when it got sealed. And we're getting some questions in the chat, and my mind's going there too. Is Ohio State, Penn State? I'm not predicting an Ohio State victory, but my mind's kind of racing. And I'm like, they can win 25. Right? Do some crazy Buzakis stuff. Obviously, 33 they can win. 41 they'll be favored. 49, Ethan's still on kind of a bum wheel, but you get him 100% healthy in February.
Yeah,
it's a match. It gets tougher.
Yeah, then we get it.
After that. But there's a scenario in my head where Ohio State takes the first 4.
Yeah,
and
for
everybody's going crazy.
For sure. So that was that final. Why don't we work our way through the weights? We're going to bounce around a little bit.
Before we go, just weight by weight, I want to get kind of your initial thoughts on this event as a whole, now that it's wrapped up year 1.
Man, I don't know if people understand how hard it is to put a quality wrestling event together that runs as professionally as what we just had. And we go to events year round all the time. And a lot of them, you're like, okay, they're changing this. They're moving over here. They're this or that. This was a professional group that put one of the best wrestling experiences the country has, their first time. And the buzz, I could not talk to a fan. I'm not asking. They're like, this is the coolest. This is the best. I'm talking to these old school classic Lehigh wrestling fans. And they said, this is the best thing. They've been to everything. These are the guys that when they say, if you've been to 45, NCAA champions, they're the ones standing up. And they're saying, I love this. I obviously loved it so much. I thought the dual format, it's just a winner, right? It's just more fun that way. And talking to the wrestlers, they're like, this is really cool. You worry, the rigor. This is a rigorous sport. It's really tough. I'm not understating that. But the product was undeniable and unbelievable. And, I just can't be more excited. There's nothing I would have changed about this event. Not one thing.
I was completely blown away as well. It's on my now list of you got to go there if you're a wrestling fan. make the trip. Pretty sure it's going to be here in Tulsa for the next few years. I know I'm a bit of on a maybe island is a strong word, but I love Tulsa.
Yeah,
I like Tulsa, and it can sometimes be kind of rough, but I really do like Tulsa. The BOK Center is a great place to have this. And Tulsa is very accommodating to wrestling fans, but even if it goes outside of
yeah.
Tulsa in the future, I think this is going to be one where it's like you're a wrestling fan, you got to get there at least once.
I totally agree. I think this is one of those you mark on your calendar. You don't want to miss it. It's that kind of an event. I think it's going to grow into that. I was pleased with the attendance, and I think it's going to get better and better now that people have seen it. And yeah, the duel is number one. There's no doubt about it.
And then one of the other big thoughts I had, we'll go big thoughts, and then we'll work our way through. Today was, I will say, the format, and there's nothing you can do about this. It's this way, individual NCAAs as well. But that quarterfinal round to the loser has to wrestle that night is tough.
It's tough.
Right? We saw
That's
it.
the toughest round.
Yep. We saw it with Michigan. Or I did. They lost a duel to Nebraska and then bounced back and dropped a duel to Missouri. And it really very lopsided duel. And you could tell energy was zapped, and the team that actually lost before the quarters got to sit that round while all the quarters were going down. They got to recover, and then the team that actually lost in the quarters has to bounce right back.
Absolutely.
Kind of bouncing off that, though, what the heck happened to Nebraska today?
I don't know. I mean, they were a little rough the day before. They're just talented.
Yeah.
They just had a few more horses. I don't know. You know, this to me, we've seen this with Nebraska, and we see it with a lot of teams. Like they can be different week to week, and once the ball got rolling, the momentum that they had, and similar with the Cowboys, you know, they got rolling, and then Coach Manning was managing that roster, and you can't blame him. He's sitting some guys bumping around and doing some different things, probably just trying to preserve things for the future. But yeah, I mean, listen, this is still a team that returned almost everyone from a team that was second, and they didn't forget how to wrestle. They didn't perform, and the first part's the hard part. Performing is something that Nebraska knows how to do. So I have no concerns for.
You're not hitting
the
panic
Huskers.
button yet?
No, but also I'm not. I did a whole monologue saying I'm not locking this team in for second or even a trophy at this point, and I'm not locking in many teams for that. I think we saw it last year. It could have been a lot of different teams. Nebraska earned it, got second, but I wasn't saying lock it in again. So this is for me. I tried to raise some awareness around this possibility. Not that I thought they were going to get boat raced in 2 straight duels, but I thought there was a chance that you see some regression. But you're going to see regression the other way with the Huskers. They're going to wrestle well off of this.
Absolutely. All right, let's get in 125. Run down these results.
Yeah. So starting with 25, I feel like every weight's got some standouts. We touched on Buzakis already, beating Volk in sudden victory, pinning Dean Peterson. Seymour, I'll just quickly kind of run off here. Seymour, nothing really notable there. Jory Volk, another contender, 2 wins over Eddie Ventresca. He's going to climb. He lost to Buzakis only. That was his only loss. He beat Trevor Anderson, who's tough, and Mac Mauger, who had a nice weekend as well. I mean, we haven't even talked about national champion Vince Robinson going down for the 3rd time to Eddie Ventresca. But he beat Troy Spratley, so have fun ranking 125.
I know.
I'm sure you'll nail it.
After a couple of years ago, nothing. Everything's easy.
Everything's easy after that one. And they say after wrestling, everything's easy. After ranking 125 in the 2024 season, everything.
Okay, you wrestle at the NCAA level 125. Try ranking
it, bro. Didn't get back to me. Okay, looking at some other standouts.
What do you make of Iowa using DeLuca?
I don't know, just one time beat Mauger, and Mauger had a big win. I think he pinned Sotelo.
Dude, Mauger's a pinner.
Yeah.
He's fun to watch.
Let me look at his he went 2-3, lost to Volk, Moore, and DeLuca. But he pinned Tyson Roach and Sotelo. So 2 pins. Mauger's going to be a tough one this year for the Tigers. So that was the main story for me. The winner of 125, is
Nick
Nick Bouzakis. Let's just declare a winner for each weight class. 133. All right. Well, this is a tough one. I'll let you
declare
name
this
one.
winner.
You declare it. Okay. So Lucas Bird went 5-0. He's the national champion. Beat Drake Ayala 7-2. A match that was a little closer than that score would indicate. Drake was on the match-winning takedown late, and Lucas able to counter-score that position. But he went on to beat Dylan Campbell. Dylan Campbell is a guy to watch. This isn't hokey CP talking. This guy's real. Okay. He went 5-3 over Cannon. He beat Redding 5-1. Lost 5-2 to Bird. Closer than Drake. Beat Science 18-0. And then beat Minnesota's guy 2-0.
Okay, so Tech, they're like, all right, Latona's done. We got to get a new lanky.
Absolutely. I saw them warming up.
Latona.
Here we go. This guy's like 6'2", $133. All right, run it back again. That guy's good. Ronnie Ramirez, another big story out of 133 is Figueroa gets benched after a loss to Tyler Ferreira. That was a rough performance. Figs having a hard time putting 7 minutes together. Ramirez beats Zach Redding in a huge match. At that time, it was like they need this one to win.
He did have a close one with Lordson. The final ended up being 9-3, but that one was closer than
Lordson
indicated.
kind of looked tough against who did he wrestle? He wrestled Ramirez at 33. He bumped up.
Mhm.
And then Drake beat Ramirez in overtime. Ramirez got the first takedown. But Drake just pressured him around, and eventually broke through and got that takedown.
My winner, 133, is Davino. Just because Bird took care of business. We expected this, right? I expected Ben Davino. Actually, I don't know if I expected him to beat Drake. I didn't know. I wasn't sure. I didn't expect it
the
like
weekend, I don't know if we were. Coming into this match, we were like, this might happen.
After he went like Tech Major,
Yeah.
going into that match, dude, it's just a point scoring machine.
He's a nut. And that's
He's
what
so much
they
fun to
asked
watch.
for from them,
Yes.
from Ben. That was the challenge from Coach Ryan. And he stepped up to the challenge in a big way.
It's so great. You get a blue chipper like Jesse Mendez, right? And it's good when you get them on the podium. If you're a program like Iowa State, it's good when you get a national title out of him. It is great and excellent when you get a blue chipper and he steps into a leadership role and gets almost the entire team to wrestle a savagery like him.
Yeah.
Right? I do think he has an infectious attitude.
I do too. Jesse's one of those kind of guys. There's no doubt about it. He is a great leader for that program. So 33, a lot. I mean, I saw a lot of talent this entire weekend. Vandy only wrestled one match. He Major Cage Patero.
Is Ryan Ramirez going to be the starter moving forward for Oklahoma State?
I mean, I'm not Coach Taylor, but that looks like the move to me. Because what's Ryan Ramirez? It's not what he is in November. What's this guy going to be in March? He can get. I don't know if he can get much bigger. He needs to be a little more physical.
Mm-hmm.
But the kid can wrestle. He's good in a lot of different positions. He can swing single both sides. He can scramble. They got something there, and there's a reason they went with him.
He took care of business.
He took care of business in a tough match. And that confidence. It's like also, and this sounds bad, but just if you're Coach Taylor, it's like, all right, this is a guy that's a true freshman going to be my program. This experience is going to be about. There's a lot of reasons to use Ronnie. One, this is the guy to build into and pour into, because he's someone that you're going to be relying on for years to come. This is it for Richard Figueroa. This is his last year. One. I had another point. Dang it. It went away. It was my better point, too. I know it was. It's going to come back to me. Oh, two, I know my better point. It's going to get real crowded real fast in Ryan Ramirez's weight range.
Mm-hmm.
Jax, Rainey. Vega's at 41. Good luck to Coach Taylor Rides. So if he's your best guy, let's use him. And I'm glad I remembered that. I would have been annoyed. So yeah, I think you go with Ronnie. I mean, if Ronnie falters, you know, maybe you keep the competition alive and keep Figs incentivized. But right now, Figs is not a junior. This is it for him.
Wish we would have gotten some higher level matches for Kyler Larkin.
Indeed, Kyler went 2-0. Decision over Patero and tech fall over Mason Ziegler. Didn't get to see him but his day's coming.
Yep.
He's gonna wrestle Oklahoma State next week. The Cowboys go to Tempe. Tempe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you interested in that?
Very.
Yeah, me too.
Let's
Okay.
go 41.
141. Dude, The boss is the king. You can't name anyone else. We could have some honorable mentions at this weight class, but this is Jesse Mendez weight. We've said enough about it, but the dude just wrestles the way you want to wrestle. Actually,
I was about to say the story of this tournament for me, I think might be at this weight, and it's not Jesse Mendez.
You're
It's
right.
Sergio Vega.
How quickly I forget that Sergio Vega went and wrestled Brock Hardy and took him down. And they took him down. They took him down again. 4 takedowns, I believe. Major decision over Brock Hardy, who the day previously, it was a 4-1 win for Mendez over Hardy.
Yeah,
Crazy. I mean, Vega's number 2 now.
it was the morning previous.
Yeah. So, I mean, Vega, this was not a one-off win. He goes 5-0 over Saunders. Saunders actually wrestled him really tough. Beats Ryan Jack 2-0, All-American. Beats Brock Hardy, major. Beats another All-American, Nasir Bailey. That's impressive. That's impressive. And the confidence is just going to grow for Sergio.
That Iowa Oklahoma State duel, I thought Nasir was going to get him. Like, he was kind of getting to his legs. And then that last attack, it was so – I don't know how he got his foot down, but then just to immediately fire in and take Nasir down so clean like that, it was chef's kiss.
Tricky knee. Sorry, I'm realizing I haven't seen my son in about an hour, but it's fine. Anyway, let me check my phone real quick.
Shoot me a text.
Cover for me.
Yeah. So Sergio Vega, the real deal. He's the real deal. Looking elsewhere at 141, Ryan Jack goes 2-1, only losing to Vega. Corey Land of UNI. He's going to be an eye to keep it. He's going to be a guy to keep an eye on.
Yep, beat Vance Vombar 9-8. I think it was a tough weekend for Vombar.
He looks okay, yeah.
Only lost to Mendez and Land. Okay. Beat Crook twice. Crook's good. And beat Zeke Seltzer. All right, not a bad week at all for Vince Vombar. That's the thing. I only saw 25% of the wrestling here because I'm on one mat and you're locked in there. And that was impressive by him.
I called multiple Corey Land matches. Also, his go-to takedown is a super duck.
Classic.
So
Very
anytime
repeatable.
a guy has that in his back pocket, he's going to be fun to watch.
Vega only gave up 2 points this weekend, according to Not a Wrestler XG and also Facts.
Unreal. Let's go 49.
149. The winner here is, I don't even know. It's tough. It's not that. I know who. Caleb Larkin. FRL listeners know. We've been telling you about this guy. I think he's a contender. And he majors Lachlan McNeil 12-3. Tech fall over Reinsel. And now didn't get, they go 0-2 and then that's it, right? No more matches for Arizona State, but still an impressive showing by Caleb Larkin. Look forward to seeing him. A lot of pretty solid performances here. Ryder Block is someone we mentioned. He did a nice job.
The story for me at 149 is, what is Casey Swiderski? And my answer to that is, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like he is a guy who, on his best day, can beat probably just about anybody in this weight class. And the weird thing about it with Casey is, it's not like you see a bunch of variance in his performance. Maybe is the right word, but the outcome changes. But he seems like he always wrestles the same.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a little worried about Casey.
I am too.
I don't know.
He had a big tape job on a knee brace, which he did not have either at the All-Star. So I don't know if he was hurt or what's going on there.
FRL listeners will be happy to know I found my son. He's right there on the table, right where I knew he'd be. Yeah, I think there's concerns there. I think, David Taylor, aggressive. I think when Tegan Jameson comes back, you don't need him at 141. And he's big as a barn anyways. I think we see Tegan Jameson sometimes at 149, at least contending. Is he the best guy? I don't know. But I think you use Tegan. And if nothing else, to spell Casey. Because Casey, I think it's a confidence thing. I mean, Casey almost lost that last match.
Yes.
It was who was
Nebraska. Zinkin.
Yeah, Zinkin. That's not good. And Zinkin's going to be fine. he actually wrestles really tough. But man, he almost found a way to lose a match that he had basically sewn up.
And you think about McNeil. Okay, he gets majored by Larkin. He had two tough ones besides that as well. That win Casey got over him doesn't quite mean as much anymore when you put it in that perspective. Like
Yeah.
maybe these guys are just not that top tier of 149 like we
Yeah.
thought they were.
I think that we're going to see a reshuffling. I think Jackson Joy has looked really good so far this year. And you know what? There's two guys, Jackson Joy and Brandon Cannon. You lose a little luster, fair or not, when you lose to a high schooler, regardless of the high
I was
school.
gonna say it shows you where those guys.
Brandon Cannon,
Melvin Miller
beat Brandon Cannon 8-5. Kind of controlled the match. It was a solid win. You weren't like, oh, Cannon should have. No. Melvin was better. Is better. And then Cannon's doing what he's doing. And then for Jackson Joy,
not a wrestler in the chat. I want to get your opinion on this. This blast double from Casey on Biskins. Did you see this?
bad call. I called that match.
I thought it was
Terrible.
Yes.
I didn't like the call, and I'm telling you that he should have won that match. I thought that penalty point was nonsense, to be honest. And I know that this is a reputation call, if you ask me.
Yes.
Casey toes it over the line from time to time. And sometimes it's on the radar. And here's one thing you guys don't know. The coaches will put it on, hey, watch his headbutts.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with that. And I'm not saying that happened here. It could have been 4 duels ago. It could have been last year, but maybe they're like, oh yeah, this guy, he told me to watch out for the headbutt. He lowers, he fires. I've seen clear headbutts. Tyler Berger, love Tyler Berger, but what he did to Zane Rutherford 2023, that was obvious, right? You're boom, you're ramming in there. He dropped, the Biskins just dropped. He down blocked, and that's just a part of it. And regardless of that, they let Biskins run. And they kept warning him, and then they warned him early. And the problem was, and you see this in matches, is a flaw in stalling application. When they get in deep on the shot, they don't want to call it because, all right, we'll let you finish, then we don't have to get involved. But Casey kept getting in so deep on shots that you can't call it once you get the standing single. So they kept letting it play out, and then he lost. But that's how it goes. I mean, it was a bad call, in my opinion. I wouldn't have called that illegal. But, these things happen. So, yeah, a little concern there.
Little concern. The best guys, that stuff doesn't affect outcome.
Yes.
The winners find a way to win.
I mean, Indine gave up, and that was not as controversial, but it gives up a penalty point. All right, get a takedown. Got to get a finish. And, it's a lesson. That's enough Swiderski talk. I'm not trying to beat him up. And he's obviously a stud, but man, confidence is a real thing. And it's weird in this sport. It's weird. We've seen some greats struggle with it at times. And I'm not diagnosing, I'm not a psychologist, but I kind of wonder.
Yep. 57.
Landon Robidoux is a dog. I'd love to see him wrestle against Brandon Cannon. Cannon Webster, honestly, had an amazing weekend as well. Had the major over Williams. Beat Rosinski, who beat Antrell Taylor, 8-2. Beats Colin Guy by tech. And then beats Seth Mendoza, who's a 57-pounder now. We had some really great performances at 157. Brandon Cannon, we already talked about him. Bonus his way through this. Landon Robidoux. His only decision was over All-American Jackson Arrington.
And it was 8-2.
It was 8-2. Tech major over Voinovich.
It was maybe the second most dominant regular decision I saw this weekend.
Yeah.
Number 1, 133, Ohio State, Iowa. Then Davino over Drake.
Wow. Robidoux looks like he can win a national title. Brandon Cannon's going to be in the mix. Cannon Webster looks like a dog. Weight under control both days. Looked really good. Antrell Taylor. Listen, this is a guy. I'm pretty sure Antrell. I could be wrong. I could be tripping. Some of their guys didn't make it to day 2. Maybe not him. But he did not place high at the Big Ten tournament. He'll take some lumps, right? The Rosinski thing, one big move, and he couldn't quite get it going. Couldn't get the takedowns going. And then And who else? He lost another one. Then he lost to Brandon Cannon, who is he's that you don't want to be a little bit down if you're wrestling Brandon Cannon. Is what we learned.
Right.
16-4. Better days coming for Antrell Taylor, but yeah.
Seth Mendoza, kind of a rough weekend for him. You know,
He's redshirting for sure.
yeah, right. I don't think he's at 57 this year, but they've got Edmund at 49. Sounds like he probably just can't make 41 anymore. He's decent
I mean, his
size.
losses were Millard, Webster, and Jordan Williams.
Right.
But competitiveness. How are you right there? No, not yet. But better days coming for Seth Mendoza.
And he showed flashes where you can see, like, it'll build, especially in a room with Keegan O'Toole. Like, I think he's still going to be good. I will say, I don't know what criteria would have come down to. But Missouri did lose to Minnesota by 1 point, and Seth Mendoza threw his headgear. And that's why they lost.
Mendoza?
Mendoza.
If you had to ask me of all the wrestlers at National Duals, who was least likely to go to that game, I probably would have said Mendoza.
You know, he was just feeling it, right? You know, he's not.
Was it after a win?
No, he lost to Millard.
Oh.
Right? And I think if I remember correctly, he came out and got the first takedown. Millard comes back, beats him. He does this. He didn't chuck his headgear, just kind of took it off and gave a little slam, said a word he shouldn't say. And that was that. And Minnesota won 15-14.
Tech had a nice weekend. Nolan Ninninger, he's been at 49. They bumped him up to 57 for this one. Beats Jackson Arrington. Arrington controlled this entire match, guys. In 2 sucker drags. Takedown. Sucker drag. Takedown at the buzzer. And Ninninger takes out Jackson Arrington, who goes 1-2 on the weekend. Unbelievable.
Yeah, right.
It's a meat grinder here, folks. It's not easy.
It's mini NCAAs almost.
It really is. Just the order's a little weird for the individuals. But yeah, 65. Who's our standout here? Got to go deep.
I think so. You beat Caliendo. You're the champ this week.
No one beat him, not named Mitchell Messenbrink last year, so I will give him that.
I will say, I'm not trying to take anything away from D. Lockett. He earned that win. He was the better wrestler out there. I did think Caliendo looked a little off this entire weekend. Right?
1,000%.
I don't know. I don't know if he was sick or what was going on, but not normal shot output.
Oh.
Yeah.
He texted Skulls twice last year. 9-4 today, or yesterday. 4-1 over Patty. That's not like him. And then he had the low major against Mayfield.
Yeah.
So yeah, not his best day for sure. I think every Iowa fans are like, yes, absolutely. Nothing for real concern. He was maybe due for this. I'll tell you what, this Ryan Burton guy, he really impressed me. He lost close to Scholes and got majored by Sparks, but beat Will Denny pretty big, beat Andrew Sparks another time. He's going to be – Tech's going to have some really interesting lineup decisions because they got Guy, they've got Ninninger, they've got Burton, they've got Matt Church. I don't know how Coach Roby's going to do it. They've got Henson coming back next year, Bo Bassett coming in. But they're going to be interesting. And Ethan Miller still looms. So Hokies going to have a good lineup. I don't know what it's going to be.
Say it too. The one guy Burton beat, Will Denny, he impressed me. I know he ended up going 1-2, but I still think he's a guy.
I do too. He's undeterred. I talked to him. We were getting ice cream. Sorry, Will, if you're not supposed to get ice cream. But I think you earned some ice cream. And he's like, yeah, this was great experience.
He beat Ryder Downey.
Like that's a great win. That's a rare win.
Yeah.
Or we're rooting for Iowa now? I didn't know that.
No.
Willie is short. Oh, it's a troll. Okay. All right. Anything else on 74? Matt Bianchi, he did what he did. Went 2-0. Made the most of his opportunity. But yeah, maybe that below Mitchell is going to be a little more competitive than we thought.
Maybe Caliendo's just an off weekend.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Could be so. 174. Pat Kennedy, but I'll tell you what. Okay. Yes, sir. Matt Serba, the tournament director here. Getting my attention. Kennedy goes 4-0. beat Steed, Facundo, and Harchla.
Dude, that's a gauntlet.
That's a tough weekend. And 74 was kind of a story here. I tell you what, freaking Matty Singleton looked dog tough this weekend.
Yes, he
3-0, pins Facundo, beat Desciante at Virginia Tech really bad, and 7-1, but it was not close. And then beat a tough Jared Sima. So good weekend there. Simon Ruiz, I mean, you talk about a guy looking good. 2-0 over Facundo, and then Major Sima. Only got 2 opportunities. That's one of the kind of unique things about that. Your team sort of pulls you through. Harchla 3-1. He looked fine. Beat Christopher Minto. That's a nice win for him. I thought Minto looked fine this weekend.
Fine.
He lost to Facundo on a penalty point head scissors as time expired.
I did not see that. Wow.
Yeah. No one actually did. David, Coach Taylor didn't see it, I don't think either.
I remember when that happened. I forget what
Someone must have come by him and said challenge. Because like David did a thing like after Facundo almost finished, he's like, oh, I kind of leaned on Caldwell. And then next thing I know, I look away and then I look over and he's throwing the brick. He says, head scissors. Like very like, so I don't know if someone saw it or what, or if he like just thought through it, but yeah.
So I remember seeing bricks coming out, and then all of a sudden match was just over. Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So yeah, I mean, talk about a win that Alex Facundo needed. 1-3 on the weekend. He lost close to Ruiz 2-0. Lost close to Kennedy, and for Kennedy, I actually think the Kennedy match was his best match. For Facundo. He was in. He was getting in, and like so. Facundo has a couple different things with his shot. He has this one single like where he just here, and it's like only against certain guys is he could be able to pull that in. But he was getting, neck tight, backside, elbow deep on the single leg, close. But it was Kennedy scrambling. Did you bring it up or I bring it? Kennedy was hitting dive rolls and hitting some unique stuff. I was impressed with Kennedy, and I think Facundo, he's been out of the mix for a little bit. Remember, let's rewind. Last year he went down to 57, didn't start, got injured, out for the year. Year before that was an Olympic red shirt. Okay, no folk style matches that year, and so you're going back basically off the folk style mat for 2 straight seasons. So it takes a little bit, and this I don't think this is a guy like Chael thinks a guy that can win a national title. I'm not there. My mind's open, but I don't think so. But I think it is not unreasonable to think he can win a national title.
I agree.
I mean, All-American. Can All-American.
Yes.
It's not unreasonable that he could All-American. Despite being 1-3 at National Duals. Okay.
I also want to say I'm not hitting panic button on Bowman after this tournament. Just a tough ring. Went, I think, 1-2, lost to Minto, tough, lost to Steed. And that was that post quarterfinal loss where the entire Michigan team just didn't really have it.
Yes. And it had that pin over Kyle Valencia. Man, this was a treacherous weight class here. It's up there. 84 was Savage, but 74 felt like all the guys hit. 84, we talked about Angelo. He's the top dog right now. It's his weight. And yeah, he is going to add some energy to this weight class for sure. Aiden Sinclair, obviously a title.
Where does Rocco Welsh stack up in this?
Right
order?
in there. Right in there with Aiden, right in there with Angelo, right in there with Max McAnally, right in that mix. Rocco Welsh is a dog, and we're not going to see. We're going to have to wait till Big Ten schedule for him to really get a test. But in the Big Ten, he'll see Angelo, he'll see a lot of these guys. He won't see Aiden Sinclair. Brock Mantanona got teched by Aiden Sinclair. Goodness gracious.
Dude,
but he beat beat Silas Allred.
Silas Allred, weird weekend.
It's Silas. And you see that with him sometimes. He'll beat, had a great win over Ryder in sudden victory. Lost Dylan Fishback to me is if you're looking for a perception change guy, I think Dylan, we talked about it a little bit. I thought he looked good this weekend despite going 2-2.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
Although he almost blew it against Eddie Nietenbach. He was in the driver's seat. He almost lost this match. It was kind of unbelievable. 84, Silas Allred goes 2-2. Zach Ryder, tough weekend. He goes 1-3. Only win was over Cates of NC State. Loses to Christian Hansen. Of course, I called him the wrong name the entire match because it had Carson Crace up there. So apologies to Christian. The wrong name got entered by the scorer, and I'm taking no accountability for this.
That was the match with like 10 minutes of blood time.
Oh,
because his head got split open. Correct?
First whistle to match over 32 minutes. Blood, concussion, re-wrap. And I had some questionable calls there, but Hansen got it done. He won the match, and that's all you can say about it. Ryder, better days coming, but 4-2 to he was never close on Angelo, but you're not getting blown out of the water.
Yeah, but Angelo doesn't blow anybody out of the water.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, 84. Let's go 97. We talked about Indine. He's the winner here, but Sonny Sasso, I'll be darned if he didn't go 5-0, beating Joey Novak, number 4. Maybe he's your winner. Beat Gavin Nelson, beat Cade Lout, and had a last-second takedown, apparently, according to Kozak, over Gabe Nagel to win that one, 9-8. So 5-0. Sasso going to make a big climb in the rankings.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Obviously, Sasso, Sonny has gotten a lot of attention.
Mm-hmm.
Was a highly touted recruit, and a guy, a lot of us, myself included, were like, I think the potential's there. I kind of sold my Sonny Sasso stock. I'm not going to lie, right? Especially after even the beginning of the season at the Southeast Open. He didn't have a good Southeast Open. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's just never going to happen for Sonny Sasso. Maybe he's just a national qualifier pushing for an All-American podium, junior, senior year type of guy. And, maybe he's going to be a little bit better than that.
Kozak said this. He's like, where Sasso's good, he's really good. Where he's not good, he needs to stay away. He's got gaps,
Mm-hmm.
right? But he was able to wrestle where he's good this weekend. Went 5-0. That's something to be proud of.
Something he can hang his hat on.
Hey man. Stephen Little went 2-0. He's a dog. Everyone knows this. Came to McDaniel. 3-1.
The win over Bates was insane. Last second takedown.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Right, and that
Right
was
at
like
the end.
that was like, Dual was not really on the line, but that one got the team fired up.
Yes. You maybe are theorizing they're gonna throw us out, but yeah, right. But we'll pick up. We're not too far from done. For Ohio State, 197. Gial kind of a little tweaky against Novak. We'll see. Shoemate went. He beat Gavin Nelson, but lost to McDaniel and Indine. Indine darn near pinned him. See, Gavin. And that's a solid performance there. Okay, anything else at 97? I'm trying to keep my mind here.
I don't think so.
All right, I'm going to defer this 1 hour for the 97th time. Okay. Heavyweight Feldman. Maybe our winner.
He's the winner. He's the winner.
He beat AJ Ferrari. He beat Christian Carroll. He beat Coy Hopke. It felt like, he got the first takedown, I think on
Ferrari?
No, I'm misremembering. Ferrari got the first takedown, right?
No, Feldman did. That was the head. That was when he shot, hit his head, and went flat after getting taken down.
Yeah,
Nick comes behind, and then he took concussion protocol time.
Okay.
That was the first takedown. And then AJ blasted through him on the second one, captured ankles. Feldman fell on his butt. The story for me was Feldman getting away twice quickly. Right? That's how AJ wins matches, right? One, he doesn't really get taken down, but you could brush that off of, okay, he bonked his head. There clearly was a pause in his system, right? He paused for a second as Feldman ran behind. And but he'll ride you. He'll get a riding time point and win that way.
Right.
You'll stand up. He'll push you out.
That's
right.
Exactly what he did against Doucette.
He wasn't able to because Feldman got away, and Feldman, despite blooding up his face, just kept throwing his head in the fight, and AJ couldn't take him down for the last minute, 90 seconds. I can't remember how much time they had.
Feldman is one of the heavyweights that can match him athletically. He's quick. He can really move. And, big win, big weekend for Nick Feldman, who, how are you going to rank this one? I
think it's
Is
Younger
Feldman number
time.
one?
Younger time number
What
one.
about Feldman?
I think Younger beat him
When?
once upon a time in their career.
Once upon a time.
2 years ago, the last year Younger was active.
2 years ago, he also lost to Slavas Kuski.
Yeah, well, he's back. He beat Gadiali this year.
I don't
Who
know.
whooped up on Feldman last year.
Well, that's ancient history. Feldman just beat AJ Ferrari, who just whooped up on Tegadali today.
That is true. I don't know. I got to think about it. I got to look at
I'm going to
resumes.
argue. Whatever you do, I'm just going to take the other guy.
But
You put Younger in there, I'm going Feldman. You put Feldman in, where's the respect for Younger?
look,
What kind of a Cyclone fan are you?
I mean, well, right now, actually, Trumbull is ahead of Younger number 2, but we can't put Trumbull number 1. He
No.
didn't compete here this weekend.
Yeah, or he hasn't competed this year, I don't think.
Correct.
So, Doucette, solid weekend. Lost close 2-1 to AJ Ferrari. It kind of played out exactly how you thought. He was going to the third. You could tell AJ wasn't even pushing for the takedown. He's like, he thinks he's just going to get the riding time point. That's exactly what he did. And they won 2-1. You can't put Feldman over Keeter. Well, there's no rules. You know, there's no rules against putting Feldman over Keeter. I know he doesn't, but
I don't know. Now that Keeter didn't wrestle, that makes it tough, right?
it does.
Because you have to weigh this year's result. Peek into the mind of a ranker.
Mhm.
You have to weigh this year's results more heavily than last year's results. But when one guy kind of owns the other, it does make it tough. But
Makes
then
it
you don't make the walk. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And we don't know Ben Keeter's availability. They're going to need him this year. They don't have him yet. Jim Mullen, solid weekend, beating Luffman, Carroll, and Bennett Tabor.
But
then
they
he
lost
to
to Tabor.
Listen, it was 3-1. He lost 3-2. I guess,
Dude,
did
it's
Hutke
so
not
funny.
wrestle?
No, he wrestled all weekend, but then literally they go, we have a guy who majored Mullen 2 weeks ago, but we're going to use Bennett Tabor. He loses.
Oh, I
He
know
loses to Mullen, and then they put him out there again.
They don't want.
What, seeding?
Yeah, they're just trying to get both guys to win over Mullen so that they can just have that in the major. I mean, it's a little bit of 3D chess. It's like, why not the guy that majored? But listen.
And they could also be trying to collect more data for their wrestle off situation.
It is a good comparison for both.
It's just hilarious. Like, oh, we have this guy. Oh, but we're going to use our other guy. He lost again. We're still going to use the guy that just lost to him 2 straight times. But then he beat him. So,
yes. All right. This was an incredible weekend. I think it's time to go.
They're packing up all around us.
There is no more stage. The stage is on pallets. You can almost feel the ice. You know what I mean? I feel like I got a little coldness going. You know, where it's on a full sheet here, JD. Full sheet of ice.
Thank you, Paycom.
Thank you, Paycom,
for putting on an amazing event. Thank you for the teams that were here and stepped up and towed the line for making an awesome weekend for wrestling fans everywhere, and something that will hopefully continue to be an amazing weekend for wrestling fans for years and years and years to come.
That's a wrap. Thanks so much. We'll see you. When's the next show? Let me know.
Thursday,
10
a.m. Central Time.
Kenny Thursday. See you then. Bye.